so and see if I can do it.
Great success.
Perfect. I like you because you did not take a photo of me running.
So I'll add these in and then I saw a bit of footage of Bryn Llewellyn bowling his left armers the other day because I was watching footage of Andrew Goad scoring his 179, and Bryn Llewellyn conceded a few of those 179 runs. famous name.
Llewellyn or the Goad?
Llewellyn.
Well, there's a few Welsh names out in Ipswich, aren't there?
Llewellyn or Paddock. Well, no, it's
And they laugh at our attempts to pronounce a Bouvale. Ooh, it's got the W, but we just pronounce it as a U. I won't do that.
that's enough confidence for one more.
It might be easier if I just unplug the mouse and I can use that. Okay, so there is too much here. I am not going to be your erstwhile female co-host and read everything I've got here, but just so you know it's here. So that tab is basically every player in the comp, and that's a scaled down version of what I said. Basically anything that I thought was stupid, I omitted, and I've tried to get over as close what they do. That's my little cryptic system for right hand battle, left hand bat, and then right hand and that sort of stuff. And that'll be updated once I know what's going on. This is the same thing with a larger font. I'll put it about there. And then other tabs down here, like that's their all-time T20 stats in Premier League First One, for example. So if we go, oh, what kind of records this guy like? Yeah, so again, it's go to. That was just some big innings from different players in first grade, long gaps, as you can see. So it's just all back pocket stuff.
Yeah, so. Did you get those jerseys?
Yes, it is. Sorry, yeah. Okay, there, and that is the batting order as well for them. So what you reckon you would have played with her against? A quarter of the comp, or a tenth of the comp, or half?
It's hard to... probably a quarter.
That's sizable. There's nothing. Yeah. So just in case you thought I was damning with faint praise.
No.
Yeah, I just saw them. They got a big electronic scoreboard over there as well. But, I mean, not quite MCG, big electronic scoreboard, but still. One of them could just compare us playing the previous one. Do you happen to know if there is like an MVP or anything at the end of?
I didn't see that, but it should. Might as well plug in here now.
Sure, you do that, I'll get the stream up. It's on mute. Sorry.
You're going to have to do the plug-in.
Gotcha, that's all right. So, cool. Oh, the thing with a plug in it. Yeah.
And it's time for game 2 here on field 2. Joel and Daniel here to take you through the next 2 games here. We'll finish out the day for you for field 2. And this is a big one, Daniel. We've got the Western Power and the Southern Rockets, 2 pretty powerhouse sides. I mean, every side is a powerhouse side in this comp, but pretty talented teams. You said off air before that you think this might be the game of the day.
I think so. In fact, the Southern Rockets are my tip for the tournament. I'll just get that out of the way early. I'm not a gambling man. I know you like to have a flutter, so I don't know if any betting agency's running a book on the BPL, but it is going to be a fast bowling festival, though, with these 2 sides. Sean Lutter and Donald White opening the bowling for the Western Power, and that's a pretty fierce opening bowling combo. So, and there is a bit of grass on the pitch as well, which should give them a little bit of lift.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure your helmet is fitting properly if you're opening the batting for the Rockets, which will be Lee Drennan and Connor McKernan. So Lee is the captain of the Rockets, so he'll be looking to come out and sort of set the stage. So the Power did win the toss and they did elect to bowl, which pretty much expected with the talent they have on the bowling side. No slouches in the batting side, but they do have two of the real gun fast bowlers in this comp.
Connor McInerney, who's the left-hander you'll see on screen, 14 Shield games for South Australia. He's one of the interstate players who's come up for this competition. No slouch at all. He also won the Bradman Medal in 2017-18, which is their equivalent of the Peter Burge Medal that we have here for Queensland Premier Cricket. Essentially, your best. It's your Brownlow. It's your Dally M. It's your Dally M of the competition. But Lee Drennan, been around grade cricket for a long time. Also played in Adelaide. I'm not sure whether that had anything to do with McInerney's recruitment. But if the Power's going to get off to a good start. No, it was like the first time.
No, you had it under control. Back yourself here.
Then these 2 are the guys to do it. There's a little bit behind them as well.
It's very clear day. There's only a little bit of breeze as we're underway here. First ball, just outside the off stump there. It does look quick, so Lutter really has his tail up already first ball, so could be a rough start. If you can't get your eye in early here, you might be in a little bit of trouble.
Sean Lutter could probably bowl on one of those soft field pitches and still make it work.
I'm a bit worried about the Air Force Tower behind that. Geez, that was quicker again. He's warming up. Tell you what, Connor, I know he's played, as we just mentioned, played some Shield level cricket, but needs to get bat on ball. As we know, if you get that first one, feel it out of the middle, you instantly feel a lot more comfortable at the crease. So that's what he'll be looking to do here against Luddo. Get a little, feel that willow, get himself underway. And there it is. A tinkle little leg glance down. He's coming back for two. That's aggressive running and makes it pretty comfortable in the end.
Good arm from the keeper as well to get the glove off. Just straying onto the legs there, Lush, which meant that McInerney was able to get back on ball. The ones that were back of the length outside off stump, McInerney was actually late on. Didn't expect the pace at all. Maybe he's misreading the pitch, but you don't want to be late on the balls first over the innings.
So then it is a very flat wicket. It's, and there it is again, that ball that's just around that off stump. That one, again, he's bowling that awkward length, and McInerney doesn't really know whether he wants to come forward or back. I think, as we're going to pretend we're experts here, and so I think he needs to rock back and maybe just look to work that away, but he's definitely a much more talented cricketer than me. Going down leg there.
And McInerney is rocking onto that front foot, as you said. Those back of the length balls, which basically means that Lutter doesn't really need to use his variation because his stock ball is doing the trick. He's conceded, just the two off this over? 4 dot balls and a 2. McInerney's not making him do anything different at the moment.
And those 2 runs is also the only ball that McInerney got back to. So he does look a little bit like he hasn't sort of judged this. And obviously coming from the South Australia comp, he won't have seen these bowlers before, or a lot of them have played together in the grade set. And there again, that one, he took the pace off their ladder a little bit, and that really confused, as you could have seen, McInerney was a little bit through his shot and ended up just sort of prodding the bat out, a bit dangerous. It did fall short of the keeper anyway, so not a danger, but still needs to start reading the pace there. Great first over there for the power though. Only 2 runs conceded. 1 LBW call, it was going down leg, but still not a bad way to start your day.
The scorers have actually called those 2 runs leg byes. So Lutter with a maiden over to begin with, and maidens in T20, little hen's teethish, aren't they?
So what I'd be checking his pads there. Looks like we're going to have some spin from the other end. So we have seen this a bit as a big bash technique, using your spinners early. We see it a lot at the Gabba. This will be Bryn Llewellyn, the left arm spinner. Now, Llewellyn, as a lot of people know, very famous name out here in Ipswich. Let's see if he can make his name today. We have 2 left-handers opening the batting together. Very interesting to see whether they could have gone with a right-hand, left-hand combination.
It worked for Hayden and Langer, didn't it? Strauss and Cook.
You're very right there. You're very, very right there. Good bit of flight on that ball there, so he's making play here, which is what you want as a spinner. You don't want to... Sorry?
Nick
McGill. I've for some reason looked at the power line and I said, it's going well. McGill off the mark there. Beautifully played.
Very assured little flick through the legs. Obviously Llewellyn doesn't put the same kind of pressure that someone like Lutter puts on you. But I did like to see him get the ball up above the eye line. It's a bit of a myth in 2020 cricket that spinners must bowl darts. Make the batsman think.
Now this will be interesting here because, as we said, McInerney just faced a very tough over from Ludder. This is going to be obviously very, very different facing Llewellyn here. Let's see if he can make the adjustment to the pace and the spin. Kick that straight back to the bowler. It was a bump ball-esque hit it straight into the pitch, but got decent contact, so that you should feel good about that.
Very gently played down. Always used to call it one-day signal.
the over with the the Power very much on top at the moment. Just the 4 runs conceded off the first 2 overs, and that previous ball, it would have been a crowd catch, except if you're watching this game, you're sitting at home and not being here part of the crowd. So if you're in the Ipswich area, get down here to Amberley, bring some shade, plenty of food and drink here. The Brisbane Premier League is off and running, first day.
And obviously, big thanks to Mazda as the major sponsor here of the Brisbane Premier League. It's great to see them getting behind local cricket, giving these guys an opportunity to showcase themselves in such a wonderful way. Love it to continue. Geez, that was quick. That was very, very quick. And McInerney's played it through his own legs. So he I don't think he was anywhere near where he wanted to be on that one. Michael Sippel with the fielding out there. I actually talked to Sippel in the lead up to the game, and he thought that he might get to be 15th man for the competition, but out there for game 1.
Lately's favourite son.
Took the pace up a little bit there as well, so McGill hasn't faced him too much, so mixing it up with one, that would have been 10 k's slower than the ball before it. McInerney back on strike, McGill played that away nicely. First 2 balls of this over have gone for the exact same amount of runs as the whole last over that I bowled, so maybe they're starting to see him, inside edge and then a open wrist runaway. They're on fire now. Oh, that was... It was there we hit, but again, I think Rudd has taken the pace off another one there, and it wasn't quite where he wanted to be.
Did he take the pace off, or did he just hold up a little in the pitch? I mean, McInerney, in some ways, it was lucky he was late on, because even though it was a clunk, at least he got something on it and hit the single out here mid-wicket.
Well, it's good to see McInerney play an aggressive shot, though. That's what you need to see. I mean, we're over 3 and you've got 6 runs on the board. Need to see a couple of shots, I think, here. That's a beautiful shot. That is an absolutely cracking shot there from McGill. Now it's going to run away for 4 runs out. It's also a goal on the AFL field, so he can probably claim 6, I think.
Lutter earned himself the right to pitch it up there, see if he can get a bit of movement. In the end, McGill played a superb shot, but I think when you've got them, only 6 runs or 7 runs early, pitch it up, see what happens.
And that is a cracking ball to follow that up with. He's back on that length that we were talking about, that he bowled a lot in the first over. He's kind of got away from in this second over. So in that first over, he bowled on that length to kind of get the batsman a little bit unsure between coming forward and going back. And now he's gone back to it straight away, and McGill, as you saw, caught on his crease, sort of fending outside off.
I'd like to see Cross the keeper step forward about 5 metres. He's taking the ball around his ankles.
He's done very well there, though. So as soon as you mentioned it, he's come out with an absolute cracking piece of wicket-keeping there.
If any other players would like me to criticise them so they produce a bit of magic, I'm here. I'll accept all offers.
And another good over there for the Power, but that was definitely the Rockets' best over so far. Saw them flash the willow a little bit, and as we kind of mentioned, these two are sort of strength of their batting lineup, probably along with their top 3 or 4 is very, very strong. These are your boys to win, so you kind of would want them to maybe kick on a little bit here, mate.
They are wasting the power play at the moment. They've been able to get nothing over the top of the infield. The one boundary was 3, well placed, but you've got to go over the top in the first 4 surely. Oh, beautiful change of pace. Darted off the pitch, fish and baby run.
Let's mention some players from not the 1970s. Oh, he's gone for that's the shot we want to see him play here. He's just mistimed it. Llewellyn's bowling very, very well. This is a really, really good start for the Western Power. He's gone for it again, and once again, he's not able to get under that ball. Llewellyn is I mean, he's doing exactly what you said. Not to, he's bowling some good darts here. He's darting them in, and they're staying a little bit lower than I think the batsmen are intending them to. That one gets through, and they just get the single. Good bit of fielding out there.
And that's Harry Austin out there at long on, but yeah, there was a chance of a second, but not once he's charged it.
Plays that one and it's in sort of a very aggressive mid-on, well, it's maybe mid-wicket where it's kind of square, but it's hard to see how it is. Uses his feet now, that's kind of what we would have liked to see. Gets the single, direct hit though, and that's the over gone again, so
13 in the power play. After 10 overs, they can take the 2 over surge, as you might have seen in the Big Bash League last year. But what the Power have done, sorry, the Rockets have done, is just put a lot of pressure on those 2 overs later in the innings, because 13 runs is not going to scare the Western Power whatsoever.
Now, who are we going to come on here now? I don't think Rudder's going to go 3 straight, is he?
No, this looks like Donald White.
Yes, it's no change up as far as pace goes, though. This is also not going to be slow bowling here.
So Donald White for Valleys, I believe he's made it into the Queensland squad, so may play a few second 11 games this year. These games, hopefully you're watching it through the BPL app, but they will be available on YouTube afterwards, and of course that might mean if Donald White becomes a bit of a star in the future, this game will become a bit of a before they were famous chap.
We'll be the voice of his star, Bruce McAvaney style. Awkward action there. It's very stop-start in his delivery strike. But again, we are absolute hacks, and they are much better than we ever were.
I can tell you who it reminds me of, but I've already got 1 strike for referencing before any of these players were born, so I might just keep this one to myself.
That's ideal. McAvaney on strike again now. He's yet to really play any sort of impactful shot. Oh, and there's the short one. That's the one for the over called from the umpire. Maybe he played that well. Just got inside it, let it go past. He wasn't too worried about that at all. Was in a good position and managed to just do the little matrix style sway out of the way, mate.
And perfect length from White to get it in between that shoulder and head, so you get the one over the shoulder but not the no ball. It takes a bit of skill, that, and you showed it.
Again, like when he plays an aggressive shot, but he's not committing to these shots. We saw it when he was facing Llewellyn and he was going for those sweep shots. He wants to be aggressive, but then he's not fully committing to that aggressive play style, and he did the same thing there. He went for the aggressive shot and then almost pulls out of it halfway through.
2020 requires you to execute your batting skills differently from the 4-day game.
McGill on strike now. That's a good ball there. That's got McGill a bit jumpy on the crease. He did play it well. He got in behind it, dropped it at his feet, and they'll take the single, which any run here for the Rockets is a good thing. As I said, there's a bit of pressure break here. Not a lot on the scoreboard. If I had picked them in the comp, I'd be a little bit making a call on the 5th over of their tournament. Ooh, bit worried.
You haven't seen the bowl yet. You haven't seen the bowl yet.
This is true. There's a aggressive. It's in aerial, but it is in a gap, and it will be 4 runs there. So that's a very very nice shot, and he's followed through on that one there, McInerney, and gets finally rewarded with his first boundary.
I think White helped him out there by just dropping a little bit short. Even though McInerney only took the half step forward rather than the full stride you were talking about, he got away with it because the ball was short enough for him to get under.
And he committed to that aggressive shot. Well, he's gone after another one. Man in the field. Oh, he's put it down. Toby Kurswell. Pretty sure that's a carton, mate.
Kurzweil's another of the fast bowling cartel here. Another left armour. There's a bit of variety here in the power attack. He'll be dirty on himself for dropping that, but of course it does mean that there's one more wicket available for him to take now, which is certainly how fast bowlers used to think.
And this is going to be Steve Paulson coming on the bowl. So the $1 million man himself. Here we get to see him in person. Very exciting. He was the top paid-for player in the BPL draft. Now, mainly known for his batting. A very star-studded career out there in Western Suburbs cricket. So at West, we're going to roll the arm over. He bowls wrist spin. So sticking with sort of a pace from what we'll call the clubhouse end, and then spin from what we're calling the Air Force end.
The word you're looking for with Steve Paulson is wily. I think it's
like a coyote.
He is like a coyote. The Western Coyotes. We've just renamed it. We never liked the Power as a nickname. They're the Coyotes.
The Dingoes might have something to say about that. Their mascot could be deemed coyote-esque.
They should change the name to the Roadrunners because they always beat the Coyotes.
Oh, there's a no ball, first ball from Paulson. Now he's got away with it in the way that it's been hit to that sort of close mid-on position. But we will see a free hit here, so McGill the chance to make up for some previous mistakes from the Rockets here. And it's another full bunger. He's hit it well, but the fielder's done very well out there at long on. And they're only going to get 2, so not an ideal way to start your over, but not overly bad as far as the result.
Played out to long off. You're still in McLaughlin in the field before saving his blushes, and then good fielding on that occasion from Hi O'Sullivan.
So a different sort of bowling style, Paulson to Llewellyn, obviously right arm, left arm, and Paulson definitely trying to get that big wrist action in, trying to get that big leg break. And he's gone full again and pays for it. McInerney's starting to feel it now. That's 4 runs again, so that's boundaries in back-to-back overs for McInerney. He needs to get going, and he seems like he's ready to do that.
It does seem to be just rolling out of Paulson's arm rather than giving it a proper rip, which it's not just about turn, it's also about getting that overspin so that you land it. If you don't get that overspin, you can't really flush it the way you want.
And we are seeing a change in the field, so they are putting someone out right where that ball just went, and then moving the short man to mid-off. Ooh. That one's fooled everyone, including the keeper. So even Harry Wood a little bit confused with that one.
Fairly indecisive footwork there. Me dancing.
Harry Wood, the captain, has put himself in that attacking there. That's a lovely shot there. It's not going to yield anything. He played that very nicely, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it had the nice sound that as a batsman you want to be hearing.
Yeah, it doesn't normally happen when I'm batting. I think I heard it twice. But that'll give him some confidence even though it might be long.
Awesome. We want to finish this over well here. It's been very scrappy. And he has finished it very, very well. That's an absolutely cracking ball. Sort of a half-hearted stumping appeal from the power, but a great way to finish your over there. They've had obviously a no ball and a boundary.
And really, 8 runs off the over in a T20 match. That's a much better result than the balls he delivered, to be perfectly honest with that. So at the beginning of the day, if you said, oh yeah, well, the Rockets will get away to 8 runs and over, you'd take that. As it is, none for 30 off 6. So we're not even on the ball yet. The power's definitely on top at the moment, even though they haven't taken a wicket.
Yeah, I guess 8 and over looked worse when there was 3 overs or something, and 2 runs and over. Maybe we were spoiled with the early restrictions put back. I saw Ladder's right here just near. She's a big man. And there's a wide from White Star this over. Yeah, look, Ladder is a very tall man. Fielding out here with, what is this, like a deep square leg.
Lefty mid-wicket, I'd call it.
Yeah, he's kind of in between what a traditional square leg and a traditional mid-wicket would be.
Square wicket.
Yeah, he's there for them pulling that short ball. Hopefully Janelle White can make something happen. That is a beautiful cut shot. I mean, it's only going to be one, but he's played that very, very nicely. I mean, he picked that up quite early.
I think White's aiming for that back of the length, and that was just a bit short. But he did bowl to his field. It was a bit outside off stump. The cut was beautiful, but the field was placed there for it. Kurzweil threw it in easily. Yeah, they haven't taken the foot off the accelerator yet.
On that field, we did have a lot of this. Kurzweil a chance to make up for past mistakes, and he does very nicely. So he had a chance in the last over from White, and unfortunately put it down, but settled himself very comfortably under that one.
And Conor McInerney leaves with 15 off 23. That's not the start to his Brisbane Premier League campaign that he would have wanted. Still, 5 games to go after this one. There's always going to be a few bit of rust to get rid of, because not only coming up from South Australia, but also having COVID delays. So, yeah, I don't think that's indicative of what we'll see from him as a batter. But let's give some praise to Donald White there. He, again, it was a little bit short, but he kept it outside off stump. As you quite rightly pointed out, had the 2 fielders back, because he thought, well, they're not going to hit you in front of square. You know, let's not waste fielders by having your safe long off. Let's put them in catching positions. Toby Kurzweil, that was coaching video stuff.
Yep.
Just got straight behind the ball, took it with the fingers pointing up. If the camera could have stretched that far, we could use it as a coaching video.
And he had to take that one after putting the one down earlier. So we very, very keen to see what happens from this man. Now, I'm going to butcher his name, but it is Raj Shoulders. You're the expert here on pronunciation, Daniel, so help us out.
Marty Raj Shoulders. I happen to know some of his extended family, and there is very much a Dutch strain running through there. I'm told that he did actually inquire about playing for the Netherlands at one point, but didn't come to anything.
Back on that short length. That seems to be the game plan from Donnell White. And look, full credit to it, it's working well. Single there for Nick McGill. So this does put Marty Rajshoulders on strike. First time we're going to see a right-hander today from the Rockets.
And a legend for Toombul. Played first grade for about 10 years. Shout out to Padua College, where Raj Shoulders is on the teaching staff there. So maybe we shouldn't give away his first name. Maybe he should just be Mr. R for the rest of the day.
Full credit to the kids out there at mid-wicket too, holding up a high Nan sign. So if you're Nan for the kids out there, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. What is that? I think that would have been very, very close to being a wide there. That was very short and did rise quite a lot. Right shoulder's under it easily, and that will be one for the over.
Yeah, he may just be overdoing the same trick, White. I mean, admittedly, he's not going for many, but I think Raj Shoulders, okay, might be 41 now, but he's been around.
It was a very comfortable shot there. It looked like White took a bit of the pace off that one. Single to Raj Shoulders, gets his account open, and one ball to come in the over. Let's see if Nick McGill can get some runs. Once again, this has been a very, very tight over for the Western Power. They are bowling absolutely brilliantly, and other than that drop catch, they've really fielded quite well as well. Well, he's gone after that. Absolutely went after that, Nick McGill, and look, we're gonna keep judging much better cricketers' techniques than us here, but I reckon from his where he was looking when he hit that ball, he could give you a very nice weather report. So if I was his coach, I'd be telling him to put his head down, and he would tell me, "You don't know what you're talking about. Go away."
Yeah, but you're forgetting one thing there, Joel, and that is that we have a microphone, he doesn't. So that makes us rot for the foreseeable future. But as you say, yeah, McGill, he is still struggling to go from that. Just a 19-year-old, still learning his craft, but certainly talented.
Awesome to continue here from the airfield end. And once again, he's very flighty. So the batsman had got to that on the full once again there. McGill, it's, I mean, you'd like to say eventually he's going to pay for flighting the ball so much, but he's not. So here we go with us just saying things that will probably not be true again. But once again, the kid's very much high Nans. And once again, Nan, if you are watching, there's some big fans out here for you. Hope you're enjoying some BPL cricket wherever you're watching. Make sure you tune in. If you do have any questions or comments for us, make sure you jump on the YouTube chat. So jump in the YouTube chat and have a chat with us. That's a great ball there. And that's the length I think he's aiming to bowl, but he has overpitched quite a bit. So Rad Shoulders plays that well out to that sort of close mid-off that they have bowls on. Cut that away there, Rad Shoulders. They'll push for two with the fields come around. Oh, they're going for two. This is going to be tight. Good work there from Harry Wood, Jake Cross, the keeper. He's done well to take the stumps down. However, good running.
I think as long as you have the 19-year-old running to the danger end and not the 41-year-old, that's. I mean, Nick called that. He realised he had the pace. He's certainly a fit athlete. And made it easily in the end. And they need to take on the field a bit. They've earned, because they've got wickets in hand, even though the run scoring is slow, they can take risks.
He's used his feet well then, hit that very hard and straight, and will be rewarded with 4 runs there. So 4 runs there. Rad Shoulders. Now, you were right, it was the 41-year-old running to the danger end. So, it was Rad Shoulders running to the danger end. So, for every 40-year-old out there, I'm happy to send you Daniel's phone number and you can let him know your thoughts on how well 40-year-olds can run, because clearly Martin Rad Shoulders is still got plenty left in those legs, mate.
And he'll be making a beeline for this 10th fairly shortly.
Paulson's really fixed his lane. We saw 3 full tosses in that first over, including that no ball, and then 1 to start this one, but now he's dropping it right on their feet. So the batsman here needs to make the decision on whether they're going to come down the wicket and be aggressive or try and win it. Great ball from the million ball man.
Strong arm, as you often get from fast bowlers. End of the over, so they're up to 1 for 43 at the end of 8 overs. Sorry, there'll be 1 for 44. Sorry, we've just got a bit of a lag here.
Harry Wood, the captain, going to take the ball. Now, beautiful head of hair on Harry Wood. So as we talked about, he did win the toss. It was him that wanted to bowl. So as a bowling captain, this is where you show your value. Now, the runs, as you said, mate, the runs is the issue, but they do have plenty of wickets in hand. So now's the time to maybe flash some wood at Harry Wood. See what I've done there?
Yeah, that was good.
It was clunky, but we got there.
Yeah, 15 all. But as I say, Rad Shoulders, I mean, with all that experience, I mean, you know, you really want 41-year-old cricketers from the side, don't you? I mean, they're simply the best cricketers around.
Look at you backpedaling. Mate, you're going to be in the car park if you keep backpedaling that much. That is a cracking ball to start your tournament off. It's right where we saw Ludder bowl at similar length, and we saw that give both McInerney and McGill some issues, and he's gone right back there to McGill with his first ball.
And McGill very late on it. The footwork was indecisive. Didn't really know what was coming at him, and I think he just stuck the bat out to see if he could squeeze a single. And he squeezed an edge.
Carried well through to the keeper as well. We talked about with Ludder, it wasn't quite carried through for a quick moment. Good work there at backward point
From Llewellyn.
He's right in the game there in that spot. If this is the length that Wood's going to bowl, and I'm pretty sure it is because it's been the length that they're bowling from that end with their quick bowls. Llewellyn's going to get a lot of action. He's about halfway to the boundary, just behind point there. So very Ricky Ponting-esque. Oh, he's stuck the hand out to stop that one. That would have been a great bit of fielding there. We'll go down to where Toby Kersey is still fielding out there.
There's a fielder that's Welsh down at Long Island at the moment. You have to wonder why.
Welsh by name or Welsh by nationality?
Well, the Welland's Welsh by nationality. Welsh is simply Welsh by name. And of course, if you combine Paulson with Austin, you do get the $6 million man. Yeah.
He has gone after that absolutely massively, but I definitely think it wasn't the length to play that shot. It was that same length that we've been talking about all day. These power guys are hitting that awkward length really, really well. I think there needs to be an adjustment here from the Rockets batsmen if they're going to up this scoring rate.
You start batting outside your crease or inside your crease. Try to muck around with the bowler's length.
He's played that nicely. Now, it's only going to be a single, but when you've had some shaky ones outside your off stance, even just running one away from a single will relieve the tension. Go stand at the other end a little bit.
Did you see McGill just take that little backward step just before Wood was into his bowling stride? And I think there he thought, right, I'm going to change the length here. Played that much more comfortably off the back foot than just trying to flash a cover drive on the up.
Yeah. I think the run rate might be in his head, and that's what's causing those flashes. That was a cracking ball, so that's hit Radshard very high on the bat. If you saw, he had to drop his bottom hand off the bat there because it was right up on the hands. That's a great over from Harry Wood. Now, Daniel, you are our, I guess, stats expert here. You are stat man. You've got about 30 tabs open on your laptop. Is there a weakness in this power bowling attack? Because they're all, other than some overflighted balls from the balls, this has been a very, very strong bowling.
Looking at because one of the people who's running beside Conor Wheeler's got a very good bowling record in Brisbane T20 cricket. Brenda Welland does. There's nothing jumping out. Even Michael Sipple, who didn't play T20 in Great Britain.
They've gone after Paulson there. Paulson, the first one we've seen bowl 3 overs in this spell. There's good use of the feet there from McGill. It does just run out briskly to mid-off, but he did hit it well, but Kyra Sullivan out there at mid-off gets it in. Paulson moving flutter around in this cover region here.
Well, deep we could rather because we've got right shelters.
Yeah. I'm so used to the lefties we've had this morning.
Finally, you mixed someone up. I thought it was just me.
Raj Shelters uses this feet absolutely beautifully. That's probably the best shot we've seen today.
Beat me to it. Shot of the day. To play a cover drive on the half volley, full flourish of the bat, timed it perfectly. If there was a criteria sheet for playing a cover drive in T20 cricket, I think you just got an A+ for ticking every single box.
Yeah, it was perfectly put in the gap too. So there is a man roughly out there, but with how well Raj Shelters hit that, he had absolutely no chance. He's about, 10 metres to the left of where that ball ended up. Great follow-up there by Paulson, though. That's back on that length he was bowling before.
About 6 inches further, 15 centimetres pitched up a little further then, just did Raj Shelters for length.
Raj Shelters went the big one and absolutely missed it, but so did the keeper, so it'll go through for a bye there.
And then Paulson went the other way. He dropped that back about 15, 20 centimetres. Raj Shelters was 2/3 of the way through the shot and thought, uh-oh, this isn't the same delivery.
We just see some aggression out of Raj Shelters though. He's obviously here to up that scoring rate. That's hit very hard and very straight. O'Sullivan coming around, but it's not going to get there. That's 4 more from McGill there.
He moves through to 25. The 50 came up in the with the previous shot. I think that was with Rudd Shelder's cover drive. And I wish we had access to a worm here. That'd be nice to do.
I can do that.
I may have the stats, but Joel has the technology. Paulson has the ball. And ironically, he's actually been conceding more runs off his better deliveries at the moment.
Just to give people an update of what's happened already today, we can see the Northern Kings took down the Bayside Pirates on field 1 early this morning. They looked very, very good with a 4-wicket win there, and then as anyone that was tuned into this field saw a nice win by the Darling Dugos over the Morton Magic. Did it pretty easy in a 7-wicket victory there. Now they're over playing against the Marlins. The Marlins are 1 for 83.
How many overs there do you?
I've already pulled up our... Alright, there's your worm, mate. So.
And we see a rapid ascension after the power play. They've actually scored more freely with the field back.
You also see a rapid ascension, and it looks like right around the time Rudd Shelder's came to the crease. So.
Because he's played on so many different kind of pitches, he probably saw what was going on with McInerney and McGill in the opening overs and thought, right, there's no need to adjust in this one. And I think we've seen evidence of that already.
Experience, man. Experience is always a good start. So this is Wood continuing from the clubhouse end, which we've just named here. So that was edgy, but very safely away. They looked for 2, said no, and it was the 19-year-old saying no this time.
Yes, I've always said that 41-year-olds are much better runners between wickets than he's such a good judge of the run.
You backpedaled so much I can no longer see you.
If there was a backward cycling Olympic event, I'd be in there.
Now in the other game going on at the moment, the Gold Coast Wave Riders are taking on the Bayside Pirates. So Gold Coast Wave Riders 3 for 73 there, and it is the 9th over. So good run rate, but a few wickets down.
And with action as that ball was just guided down into the deep. Just the single. Wood not exactly leaking runs at the moment.
Bayside Pirates, for anyone that's a Queensland cricket fan, does have Simon Malenko, who you would have seen in Queensland Bulls, and a few Heat jerseys over the years. He's captaining the Bayside Pirates today.
A few Tigers jerseys down in Tasmania over the years as well.
Well, he's gone after that. It's aerial. Paulson's not going to be able to get there to take that catch. Good intent there again from McGill, but the execution not quite where he needs it to be.
And at this stage of proceedings, taking that kind of risk, I mean, we're coming up towards the halfway point of the innings. There's plenty of talent in the shed. Get moving. Yeah.
Can we just point out there's 2 quite large people in sombreros beyond the cover boundary, so they appear to be on stilts, either that or we have 2 of the tallest people of all time here at the Mazda Brisbane Premier League. Slight chance here, very not quite where it needed to be. 2 runs there for McGill.
I think they're trying to intimidate Sean Lutter with a little bit of extra front there.
I think the way Lutter was bowling, even he could bounce those guys.
One above the shoulder.
One thing over, mate. Get your sombrero off, put it over there.
Gill's starting to turn the strike over now.
It's a very good ball from Edward. That's that almost wide Yorker that is very, very difficult to put away for anything more than the single, as we saw there. Steve Paulson doing the fielding is in a close catching cover position. The crowd seems to be a baby and is not happy with that result. But
the baby's a fan of spin bowling and is a little bit upset that's come here, got a green top. This is not what she ordered.
she will be getting it now, though, as Alex Welch. This is definitely the plan here, is to bowl spin from this airfield end. So
there's not too much of a breeze. Sometimes you have your spin bowlers in T20 bowling with the wind, so batters have to hit into the breeze. But that's not really a factor here today.
yeah, as we see the 4X flags are not blowing in the wind at all at the 4X bar that's teasing it directly across from us. So left arm darts seems to be the order from Alex Welch, and dot ball first ball, take that.
Did McGill use that as a cipher? Does he know exactly what he's going to do with this one? Cow corner looks inviting.
Oh, that's hittable. Oh, backed out of that there we go. And there's a chance for Rajshah to run out. He recovers well. He had a bit of a slip about a quarter of the way down the wicket on that one after McGill sent him back. I think McGill wants to keep this track. I think he's feeling something. Push that up a little bit more. Out to that cow corner, but just along the ground.
It's pitched up a little bit there from Welsh, also unable to get under it. Good defensive white ball bowling, really.
Rajshah has been the more aggressive of the two of these guys, so we've got Ludder fielding directly in front of us. He gave me a look there. Oh, and a wave.
And an autograph.
Rajshah's hit that very hard. It will be one down to long off. I believe that's still Toby Kurzweil fielding down there. But
it is too, it might be Sipple. I think it's too short to be Kurzweil.
Good ball there.
He saw McGill coming and changed his length. Clever. I like this battle. The spin bowling is intelligent.
It's a lovely shot from Rajshah. That's one bounce into the fence there. He's used his feet exactly how he needed to for that one.
And to be fair, Welsh is keeping it very tight in order, but he's not really giving it a rip, which means that the length is fairly easy to predict. And McGill thought, well, I know what's being served up here, I'm just going to go down the pitch. It's not going
Rajshah, not McGill.
I'd just like to point out we're volunteering today. There's, if anyone says sack him, I'm not actually employed. But no, Rajshah knew what length the ball was going to be, thought there's no risk here. And as you said, one bounce and then I think it went underneath the sight screen, which is a little bit see-through today. It's not the most effective piece of cricket equipment I've seen in my life.
No, look, the joys of playing on field 2 at any ground. Bowling change at the clubhouse now. This is Toby Kurzweil warming up. So he's a big, lanky left armer, Toby Kurzweil, and we'll get the ball through again. So there's no shortage of pace in this side.
Thanks for the Redlands Club.
Great club out in the Redlands, home of Marnus Labuschagne, Jimmy Pearson, a lot of very, very good players out at the Redlands. That's a funny ball to start your innings off. Your innings. Spell is the word I'm looking for.
I do want, we were obviously signed on here, but the way Rajshah was playing, in fact, he's just been indicated as a field to do back into the breeze has just picked up here. It seems to be coming more or less from the end from which Kurzweil was bowling.
The thing is that they're at a point where they need to be hitting at least one boundary and over and getting at least one run and over. So one run a ball the rest of the over. So
because even if they only end up, like just say they just squeak to it, we wouldn't call that a good T20 score, but it gives you something to look at.
And look, the scores today have all been in that 120 mark, so difficult conditions it seems. Brad Shuttle's gone after that and gets all of it too, so there was a screen of catch.
That's a reflex, I think, he'll find, but over the head of Donald White, who's not the shortest player on the ground, but I'm not even completely sure he timed that, but the bat speed was phenomenal, and he got enough, basically. What we tried to measure it before, maybe 65 metre boundaries we were looking at?
Yeah, I think it's around that 65, 70 metres, so he's hit that quite well. And again, I'm pretty sure that was a goal. Maybe the Brisbane Lions are looking for someone that could hit it. Jeez, that is very aggressive. Very aggressive for the Bacha. You don't see a lot of Brendan McCullum-esque charging the big left armour. He obviously didn't mind it when McCullum did it to Mitchell Stark in the World Cup final a few years back. So repeat there. Different result though.
Clever bowling from Kurzweil. Saw that Brad Shelters was going after him. Brad Shelters thought he had that one, he didn't. Just on Brendan McCullum, of course, this is the opening day of the Brisbane Premier League brought to you by Mazda. It was the opening day of the very first Indian Premier League when Brendan McCullum scored 158 off about a third that many balls. And I like to think there's a bit of a pioneering spirit here today at the day one of the BPL. We don't quite know what we're creating here. We're supposed to look quite obvious.
I'll tell you what, the Rockets would love to have 158 as a team.
They might need to look across the Tasman and say, hey Brendan, what are you doing this week?
Judging from the way Bradshaw was just falling over his pad there, that was going down the leg. The appeal was, let's give it a 5 out of 10 for the appeal, and the umpire quickly dismissing it. So.
Little known fact, umpires do in fact carry a sound measuring device in their pockets, and if the appeal doesn't actually wake them up, then no decision needs to be made.
It's all about decibels. Welsh to continue here, sticking with this spin from one end, pace from the other. Good footwork again. It's McGill this time. Now he's only going to get one because he's picked out the fielder down here at long off. But great use of the feet.
Just starting to get up towards that runner ball, McGill, which is probably your minimum pass mark in T20 cricket.
Shot's gone after that flutter, 700. He's done very, very well there. That is a very good catch from Ludder.
Probably a metre inside the boundary, not quite sure if the camera was able to catch that. I've never seen a man look less troubled taking a boundary catch. He had a little bit of work to do, had to judge the length because it was slightly behind where he went initially. But yeah, Marty Radshoulders knew what he was doing, knew where he wanted to hit it. But again, I think it wasn't a top edge, but it wasn't off the middle of the bat either. It was just towards that outside of the bat. But he's done a good job at propelling this Rockets innings forward a little. And now it will fall. I'm guessing Lee Drennan will be coming out next, but I'll just try to get confirmation of that for you.
Well, that's a good wicket for the Power, and they keep this pressure on. So Radshoulders was, as you said, Daniel, the one that was sort of releasing the tension almost with his aggressive play. As we hear an appeal and very excited sounds coming from field one.
I believe that is Lee Drennan. I can just see the wispy moustache poking out here.
It is Lee Drennan, number one. So the captain of the Rockets comes out, and it's safe to say, mate, he's coming out with a lot of work to do here.
Luckily, he's got a lot of experience, though. He'll probably be keeping for the Rockets later in the day. That is how the cross is so light and rolling to the field.
a nice shot. They used his feet well. It was a little bit through the shot when he hit it, but McGill is definitely trying to up that runway.
Took a lesson out of Brad Shelby's book there to use the feet. He didn't get all of it, but because he'd come so far down the wicket, he got enough. He sort of easy single, hit the scoreboard ticking over.
Now, a question for you, Dale, as a cricket historian and then someone of a tactical man, power serve, when would you be using it here? Because I feel like when Brad Shuttles was out there and going well, and McGill was sort of plugging along, it might have been a decent opportunity to try and throw that power surge in and capitalise. But now you've got a new batsman. Cheeky little wrap around the corner to start his innings off here together. We'll take two.
We haven't seen a lot of that inventive batting. We haven't seen a ramp yet or anything like that. In terms of the power surge, I guess the question is, do you take it when White's bowling, so you can get over when Welsh is bowling, so you can get over the top? Or do you wait for the quicks to come back on to give you somewhere to score against that pace? I tend to go towards the latter.
Well, I think because you get multiple overs, it looks like it is going to be spin and pace consistently. It does seem that that's we're going to go inside the head of Wood, the power captain. I'm just going to say that's his game plan for the whole thing. Contrary to him not telling us anything, I've decided. So, over comes to an end. That's a fantastic over there for Welsh. It picks up the big wicket, sending Brad Shuttles back to the sheds. Send first roll to continue from the clubhouse end. Oh no, it's not. So that's Denell White holding the ball there. So 1 over from Toby Percival. He's got the pull already. So Denell White back on at the clubhouse end. Gone over the top.
Good enough again this time, but got the boundary. And I'm pleased that McGill thought, right, I'm not going to let White settle this time. I'm not going to let him dictate to me. I'm going to go after him. And he got the result, even if it wasn't pretty.
Especially with mid-off up there. Welsh tried to use his feet to get the stop there, but he's not messing up. And McGill's gone again, and once again, he's not quite getting that out of the middle. He's only going to get 2 this time, as it trickles out to a deep cover there.
I like that he went over cover though, because sometimes captains will say, well, he's only going to point, so we don't need to have protection on the offside. He's just made sure that they can't open up that gap, which means if White strays onto leg, he'll have some opportunities.
There is a man at sort of, he's kind of between point and cover. You can see the length of all of these balls. Interesting captain's what he's thinking, and obviously I feel like that is the right hand, but he is the left hand, which is what we'll see right now.
I like the this is pretty much just a sprint system, but many variations to it.
He's completely misjudged that there. Great ball from White. That'll be a leg by.
It hit him on the hip, which would have been Loss's ankle.
He did quite awkward there.
And McGill closing in on a 50.
Beautiful day here. Out in Ipswich, the opening day of the Mazda Brisbane Premier League. If you are in the area, even if you're not, come down. Plenty of cricket still to go.
There's an airport nearby.
Oh, what a catch. Fantastic work by the captain, Harry Wood there. And that will see the end of Nick McGill. I mean, he's batted well without really being able to kick on.
I felt his innings got better as it went along. He won't be overly happy with that because he did use up a lot of balls and it took him a long time to get settled. But I think he'll be feeling much better for the next game. He's starting to get a bit of rhythm going. He knows it's a difficult opponent to face and to face an extremely insane the way he hits it impressive. But he just went too close to Harry Wise, who seems to have a vaguely radius where he's able to pull the ball in from. So, third wicket down, and while the Power haven't struck all that often, they're still on top and they are not going to be intimidated by this total, particularly when you've got people like Cross, like Paulson, even Harry Wood himself, to be able to score runs. Having said that, I still like the look of this Rockets attack.
As we said, they just bowled well. There's no other way to say it. The Power just bowled really well. And they're fielding other people again, like one wrong catch, which did make up. It's been a very, very good performance. Kicking into gear there. That's very. So he is out. So that's a great bit of keeping.
It certainly wasn't the ball. Anytime you strangle someone down leg side, you celebrate as a bowler to mask the fact that you're slightly embarrassed. I like the combination between the umpires there as well. The bowler's umpire waited for the signal from square leg to make sure that the ball had carried, then gave it got right the first time, didn't mean to do anything around afterwards.
There you go. So unfortunately, Sam Neill, we didn't really get to talk about him much, mate. He's on his way back to the Combat. So.
And he'll be dirty any time you get out early in the evening, just because you get on to really outside those beds. It will be filthy, but thankfully you don't go inside and change shit here, but there are kids around. So I don't think we're going to see any mega tantrums in this Brisbane Premier League because you're a little bit exposed.
Well, you never know. We might have one. If we don't see one, I'll have a tantrum for you, mate, just so I'll flip this table.
Actually, just do it in front of the camera. We'll take the table out. Because if a tantrum isn't seen on international live streaming, did it really happen?
What's the point?
I think we'll find that going to place Lee Brennan doesn't create a size difference. He's at a childcare centre. He's a lovely bloke, and we should mention Lee's podcast as well. We Got the Chocolates, which is a wonderful view into community sport. The new batter is number 21,
Reece McDonald. Reece McDonald to the crease. Now, he's going to be tasked with upping this run rate.
The Queensland country legend, 37 years old, from further up north. I'm not exactly where, please forgive me, but I've been playing for Queensland country for many years.
Brindle well and back. Good footwork there from Brennan. We can see Ludder is warming up right in front of us, so it look like probably going to see him in the next couple of overs. But as a batsman, might not be what you want to do. Left darty ball. McDonald off the mark.
Turns around very comfortably. Singles will do, particularly with two new batters in the crease. And the surge still up the sleeve. I think they are saving it for Ludder.
Looks like that may have caught Brennan outside off stump. again, we're square of the wicket, so we're right under the camera, so we've got the exact same angle as you guys do. So.
Oh! In my team, that wouldn't be a fine. That's supposed to be safe 3 runs. But I'm told you operate a little bit more harshly than I do, Joel.
Fine, everyone, mate. Wellens done well to get hands to that. Look, I think at this level you would be a bit dirty with yourself for not taking that. But he's done well just to prevent himself from getting injured, really. So once again works it off his legs for the single. Brendan obviously has the slightly more set batsman, not by a long way, looks to be trying to be more aggressive if he overcomes to it.
So 4 for 97 at the end of 16. 4 overs left with a surge, so 100s to be given, really. Would they be looking for 130 with a surge?
You'd hope so. Now Ludder's come in. We were right. He was warming up to take the ball. He wasn't just sending his captain a message. So he's going to come on now from the clubhouse end. And now this will be very interesting. As we said, his first 2 overs were very, very good fast bowling. So
I thought there was communication between the umpire and Brennan there, and I thought the surge might have been coming. Still keeping an eye on the umpire for any signal.
I think he's just marking out the centre for McDonald here. But definitely the field is all on the fence still. So that's a wide down leg side there, but Rubber still, the length is good. Just needs to slight readjustment of the.
The wind has picked up in the last 15 minutes or so. I think it started when Kershaw was on. He was being able to shake up into the right-hander.
It's almost blowing directly across towards us right now, so I'm using those correct flags as my judge. Nice short ball. It was well played. They'll pick up a single.
Judged the length well there, although Lutter was a little shorter than he was in that incredible opening over where everything was that in-between length, where I'm not sure if they still use this coaching method, but the coach would put a 20-second piece down on that just outside off stump on that back of the length and say, right, hit that, you can keep it. Back when 20 cents was a lot of money. No.
I wouldn't know, mate.
No. Worth a bit more than a shilling.
Isn't that the thing you choke on in a fishing pool?
Yeah, pretty much.
Single there for Dranny. He's played that nicely off a bit more of a pitched up length. He's rolled that out to mid-on for a single.
And the 100 up for the Rockets, so they've recovered well, because at one stage you wondered whether they were going to get beyond 80.
Bradshaw has really played a key role in that and helped McGill sort of feel a bit more comfortable. Short again, and it's just sort of dabbed away from McDonald there.
Speaking from my expert knowledge of playing ramp shots over gully, which is precisely none, I think he just got the angle of his bat slightly wrong there. He was hoping to really ramp it off and get it to the boundary. Maybe just got too much of the wrong part of the bat on it.
I think also it was Ludder took a lot of the pace off that one, so it's hard to ramp a slower ball because you're wanting to use the pace. It was the right length for the shot, but the pace was taken up. So. And again, trickles away for a single there off the hip of Brennan.
And the left-hand, right-hand combination is just playing with Lutter's line slightly, which is a very positive sign for the Rockets. Again, it's not like he's going for 20 and over, but it does mean that the wickets aren't being threatened, and McDonald and Brennan are very comfortable just knocking it around off the 50.
But if you're Harry Wood in the power right now, you'll take a runner ball.
Oh, 100%.
That was a lot quicker, that ball. And pitched it up a bit more, so dot balls are golden in T20 cricket, especially this late in the game.
We opened with a maiden, of course, just conceding 2 leg byes. And surely any fine you accumulate during the game should be offset by bowling a maiden over.
I don't believe so. Fine. Otherwise, how do you pay for the end of season play?
Well, during lockdown, the budget doesn't need to be anywhere near as much as it used to be in the old days.
Let's not say the L word.
I retract that remark, Your Honour.
McDonald's found that fielder again that's at that backward points of gully position.
I feel Lutton is just changing his pace enough. I mean, his stock ball's probably in the low 130s. That's a pure guess. But when you're at that pace, just 5 k's an hour either side, and you can really play with the batsman's timing. And McDonald tried to play that shot 3 times in the over, didn't really time in.
No. Very much using what we would call the push-pull method in baseball. Push-pull the throttle.
I can assure you that if you start speaking baseball, you'll have the floor entirely to yourself. I like it, I just can't speak it.
What about the Yankees down
Yeah, go the A's, yeah.
Fielding changes happening. They're trying to get the attention of Donnell White out here, and he's finally worked out that his captain's trying to talk to.
The field's come in. I may have missed the surge signal, but I think it's just the long off and the deep square leg.
Well struck, well fielded. This is Jimmy Owen's final over, and he has bowled very, very well. So
he's just conceded his 9th run, 3.1 overs, so 19 balls, 9 overs conceded. Fantastic.
Showing the value, and you've noticed watching any T20 cricket, the value of spin bowling is ridiculously high in T20.
Which we didn't pick when it started.
No, but then we see it from the 35 Afghani spinners that make the job in T20 leagues. That's down the side. Guys like Sun on the Green. A lot of very, very good spinners making their living in the world in T23, and some very good ones on show here for the Cow. Now, get it out! Sullivan's done a lot of work in the field today, but very hard out here in this mid-off third man role that he's performing. Hasn't moved all day. That is a big hit and stays hit. I also think it hit one of the coaches of the AFL team playing on. Oh no, it is a cricket game. They're just right on the AFL post.
And it only went through from behind as well.
Only one extra run.
Llewellyn was bowling almost medium pace to earlier in the over, and McDonald finally thought, oh, I see what you're doing. I'm onto it now. Well played.
That's full and absolutely destroyed. McDonald's come to hit. No doubt about that one. That is right into the base of the side screen there. 6 more.
I think Llewellyn settled into a pattern early in the over, and he probably should have adjusted after the 4 was hit and maybe held one back a little or tossed one up a little bit more just to get it above the eye line, create a bit of doubt. I'm sorry, McDonald knew exactly what was coming there, and he executed.
Those 2 shots have doubled the amount of runs that Llewellyn's gone for today as well.
Donald White with the figures at the moment, 3 for 21 off his 3.
Oh, that falls just short of O'Sullivan there.
Clever change of length.
Had McDonald a bit halfway through that shot here. He checked his swing quite a bit and nearly paid for it.
So 4 for 117 with 2 overs remaining. Lutter's got 1 left. He's only gone for 12 off his 3, and as expected, he's going to bowl out now. Why wouldn't you? No need to overthink that one. And we may in fact see White coming from the southern or airport here to finish off. It'd be a shame if he rolls.
Very good, so.
Number 10 on his 2, so he's been putting on.
That's all right. It was 1 over from him.
The 7, so exactly go the journey.
Oh. Off sort of shoulderish region of Drennan.
That was an alpha male contest. Big fast bowlers steaming in. Confident, experienced batsmen taking the charge. Bowler won on that occasion, but I don't think Brennan will concede the war just yet.
Done the right thing. My father always told me when you get hit, don't rub it. He hasn't shown any pain there. So.
Did your father ever hug you, Joel? Was he a hard man?
No, he was a wonderful man, but my father played a lot of high level cricket. He constantly reminds me that he says the greatest moment of his life is really taking a catch up his bowling.
Oh wow!
And brings that up quite a lot. So big swing. Oh, that's actually gone through the key. Loves it.
Yeah, I would have liked to see what's going on 5 minutes ago. Missed the contribution today, but excellent pace from Marshall. He's really hitting that deck hard. And I'd love to see a replay of that to see how many half seconds after the ball passed those shots.
He did go hard at it though, so he had to got anything on that. The pace of the ball and how hard he swung was definitely clearing the boundary, I'd say. Running goes hard as well, and that's an edge through the keeper's hands that'll run away 4 more to the Rockets. 4 very, very valuable runs at this stage of the game.
Yes, once upon a time that was called a lucky shot or a false shot. These days that's an educated 4. Any way you get it in T20 cricket is completely legit.
And this is what we hope we'd see in these final overs, is they're just swinging hard right now. So 2 very talented batsmen to just get bat on ball and hit it as hard as possible. The third man now going back, as is fine leg. So they're 2 men outside the circle. Oh no, as I say that, the third man coming back. Telegraph move there from the power. When you're 2 men outside a square fine leg, as a batsman you could pretty much start bending that bat knee and get ready for that short one.
That could not have been any more obvious had Lutter stood at the top of his mark and said, hey Lee, this one's going to be short and around your head. Got it?
Bouncer, which McDonald's let go. We're going to say he let that go.
Oh, classically, yes. So, no, Lutto tricked him there, and once again he. Don't know if you remember when Brett Lee began, and his slower ball was about 40 k's shorter than his stock delivery, and it was. I mean, you had a lot more analysis since then, but Lutter's not making anything like that at this stage. Just take 5 or 10 off, get the result.
Well played from McDonald there. He's got a good bit about it. Wood's going to chase hard and we'll get there, flips it back. The 13 got on white, so it's a throw in. It was a nice shot from McDonald there. They're going to get 3 for it. Very, very good running.
Oh, I love a 3. You know you've hit a shot classically if you score a 3.
I refuse to run 3. That would have been a single for me, and I was just annoyed it wasn't bandy. It did look like McDonald, who we saw play very, very well against the spin of Bryn Llewellyn in the previous over, struggled a little bit there with the faster bowling of Lutter.
I'm not sure that struggling against Lutter is a unique experience.
Here we're going to see Donna White coming back on, so this is going to be the first over of pace we're going to see from the Air Force end in this game. So we haven't really seen what it's doing at this end other than from spin bowling. So Donna White, as you said, sort of the pick of the bowls as far as wicket taking into the finish out of spot.
And given what can happen in the last over when it's semi-chaotic, which we love about T20 cricket, here's a chance for a 5 for here. He's got 3. Lutter finished with none for 20 off his 4. Excellent work today from him. And Reece McDonald up to 21 not out of 14. He's actually got the highest strike rate of any batter for the Rockets today.
Well, he's come out and made his intentions known from the very beginning. He's obviously a big man, strong man, and looking to use that to get this score up a little bit higher.
They've gone for 2 men in the deep straight.
They've also got the man here right in front of us. So the power surge is over because there's also the deep square leg and sort of fine legged backward square. Right there under the 4X tent he is. So grab himself a 4X gold and a white floor, I believe is what they're selling over there. So
Where can I get a cup of tea?
England. England had a great win over India in the test as well. So nice bounce back from that. Joe Root in fine form. Might struggle to get a spot on a BPL roster though. Good ball. It's going to fall safe, but that was a nice ball from Donald. He pitched it up. Obviously McDonald, as we said, is going to try and hit everything out of the park, and he didn't quite get that one, and really lucky that it fell between two fielders out there at mid-wicket.
Was that an attempted Yorker that just didn't quite make the length? But as you say, conceding 2, he'll take that with four balls to go, and they've reached 129, just short of the 130.
If you look at the way McDonald, well, that's well done in the field. The way McDonald winds up his batting, all his weight is on his front foot, so he's looking to push forward at you. So even that attempted Yorker is going to make it awkward for him to play the way he wants to play. And we've seen the way, if you look at the batting, it's all pushing his weight forward on that ball, on that front foot. So.
He's not Lotta tall, but he is quite tall, McDonald. And of course, that was the Matthew Hayden method, where it's like, hey, I'm 6'3". If I play forward and it falls short, I'm huge. I can deal with this.
Exactly. So, Lee Drennan, captain on strike here. He's doing the swivel, looking at the field. So he's got a square leg, backward fine leg, and it looks like third man's going back as well. Once again, potentially telegraphing something around his ears. Now, we'll say that something around his ears is about nipple height on McDonald.
It's just back of the length, really,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Great boxing though. That's a full pitch delivery. Drennan's only been able to work it away for a single.
That's all part of bowling. One reason why net bowling shouldn't be the only type of bowling that you do, because a lot of it is creating expectations with what you do in the field. And generally speaking, the Power's done that quite well today all throughout their team.
Full credit to their captain, Harry Wood, too. So the game plan as far as the use of his bowlers, as I said, this is the only over of pace that's been bowled from this end. And he's had some very good fielding positions. And also what I like is he's put himself often right in the game, so not wanting to shy away. Do you have any information on Harry Wood we can give the people, mate?
He's from out this way. Captain's only 22, but I like that they've given him captaincy early. Final ball of the innings. Currently 132 for 4.
Good ball. They're going to push hard for 2 here. Brindle Llewellyn, good pickup, but the throw sort of ends up in the middle of the pitch, and they'll take 2 runs. Drennan and McDonald have done very, very well here in these last few overs to keep this score ticking over, and as I said, McDonald played very, very aggressively. Lovely innings from Drennan as the captain.
And that was a 41-run partnership, in fact, from McDonald and Drennan. So they finished at 4 for 134. Top score was Nick McGill with 47 off 46. But if you want runs per ball, then Reece McDonald with 25 not out off 18 deliveries. Pick of the bowler was Donald White, whose figures blew out a little in the end, but you expect that in the last over. 3 for 28 off his 4. And for economy, you're also looking at Sean Lutter with none for 20 off 4. Harry Wood with none for 10 off 2. So the chase for the Western Power will be 135 off their 20 overs. How do you see that progressing, Joel?
That is such a better score than we thought we were going to be talking about here. So I think as the Rockets, you're probably pretty happy. If at the 10 over mark someone went, you're going to get 135, I think they would have taken that. Absolutely. So got off to a shaky start, but full credit to the bowlers of the Western Power.
And that's where we might leave our coverage of the first innings of this match on Field 2 between the Southern Rockets and the Western Power. We'll take a break for about 10 minutes or so, but don't go anywhere because this is day one of the very first Brisbane Premier League brought to you by Mazda.
Right over there.
I thought that was pretty comfortable. How did you feel?
Yeah, temperature's starting to go up.
Yeah, well spotted, yeah. So I cut in when I shouldn't have about 4 times there. I apologise for that.
No, it's all good.
I ended up giving up on the stream as you saw. I thought, no, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't seem to be
behaving. So, and my phone's down to 47%. So hopefully I can. Actually, this is getting dangerously low as well. Oh, it'll go into slow mode, and I've still got an hour left on it, but that's not going to cope for the second game.
Where is there any power?
I nearly brought a power board just in case there was something in which to plug. But yeah, I think what I might do is just do a mad scramble of handwriting and then put things away. But I wish I'd put that. Aha.
Oh, I see we have a diet in common.
Food.
Definitely Greek place?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm going to avail myself of that at some point. You know, souvlaki versus kebab contest. I love a kebab, but a souvlaki wins. I'm sure there are some Turks who declare war on me for a comment like that. And if you get death threats for suggesting Australia might not win the World Cup, you've noticed. I thought what would have happened is though, you know, so, look, I think that Australia might not win the modern pentathlon this year again. No, yeah. Guys who were born out here before and couldn't identify who, but one of them was saying, you know, it's a bit of a two-pace pitch, so it's not going to be the easiest day to chase. So. Something else, which club you're at when you go to the
West.
Cool. The place feels beautiful.
Yeah, I constantly get asked to come back and play for more.
Sure.
Not much. I don't know. I'm here.
2 seconds.
Are you in? Alright, second innings here. Nothing's coming out. And as I said, they'll be feeling a lot better than we thought they would.
I think we underestimated their ability to accelerate.
We're going to see Jake Cross.
Steve Paulson was named as the other opener, but he's...
It is Steve Paulson. Cross was getting in the way. Steve Paulson bowled fairly well, rough first over, but didn't really pay for his misjudged lane.
3 overs for 27 in the end, which is as expensive as it got, and quite frankly, you'll take 9 and over for your most expensive bowler.
Exactly. But here's the $1 million man, as we'll continue to point out. As we look at the schedule, we do have the Power in our next game here on Field 2 as well. So get used to seeing these beautiful green jerseys if you're going to stay tuned in Field 2.
So 135 is the target. We're at Field 2 at the Ivor Marsden Sports Complex here at Amberley.
Oh, big edge. Cross with a big edge. Cross has gone very, very, very hard at the first ball here. I think it's Lachlan Honan bowling? Yes, it is.
So, said in the preview, tall, fast bowlers are the order of the day.
Oh, that did not bounce anywhere near where I thought it would. It really pick up off the wicket like it's expected.
Got Honan, Jacob Apted, the left armour, James Ward, the left armour, plenty of pace, and then a couple of good spinners. I've got to up now this time now. Josh Connolly, the right arm off spinner, who went down to Sydney, was in the Sydney Sixers squad for a while there, played a little bit for the ACT as well. He calls his Doosra George.
That was a nice from Paulson. Now, it is just a defensive shot, but he got it right out of the middle of the bat. First ball is face. I mean, what more can you ask for?
A legend of Brisbane great cricket, Steve Paulson. Spent about a century at West.
He is West. Oh! Hopefully you could hear Jacob Apted out here in front of us, very excited about that bit of feeling. I think he thought it was a bit closer for the run out than what it actually was.
Bit of parallax error there on the throw. He thought, oh, that's very close by about 5 metres.
You want to be excited if you feel that.
You want your other opening bowler to be excited, really. Just get the adrenaline level right up.
Good ball.
Honan's kilometres per hour versus length of run-up ratio is very impressive. Doesn't muck around getting to the crease. Still generates a lot of pace.
That's obviously the other day with a lot of fast bowls. You see both Bumrah, Archer, shorter run-ups than the old Brett Lee run off the side screen. Oh, direct hit there. No yells from that for this one. First over underway for the Power in this chase. Crowd starting to get in here at Amberley. It is an absolute beautiful day.
The thunderstorm that was predicted, unless one of those clouds that you can see in the distance is about to turn incredibly nasty, there's not a lot of evidence of it around at the moment, says Daniel, the non-meteorologist.
James Ward going to come on here from the Air Force end.
And again, the field is outside the circle behind the wicket. So you can probably sense not a lot of half bowlers here.
Pulled out of the run-up.
Probably ready.
breeze is now coming back towards us. We're sitting on the east of the ground, so it's a westerly blowing. Good idea to have a left armour on from that southern or airport end.
Bowling style, he runs it off and almost slows down.
It's not the smoothest piece of running, is it?
No, but I mean, I said the same thing about Donald White. They ran had an absolutely beautiful day before, so I should just shut up for it.
Oh no, you can talk about the aesthetics of bowling. Just don't mix them up with effectiveness. But,
He's got a lovely head of hair.
he used to have hair like that, but he used to start at the front as well.
Now you're at risk of causing a knocking. He's got that very good.
Throws himself around, clearly an athlete. I wonder what that's like. I've read about it, yeah.
2 runs there.
Your mid-off and mid-on field is a key in 220, particularly in the early overs with no one back.
So a big leap in his delivery stride. It's quite high off the ground and then it comes down hard. Another big tall man.
That kind of leap often gets coached out of bowlers, but there have been a number of great bowlers who have used it and not really sunk it.
I've always said if you run up and that can work for you, and it's legal. There's the short one. Paulson's played that really, really well. He saw that very early. Full, no risk full shot along the ground the whole way for him.
That's an example of a ball where it was fast. We know that Ward's got pace, but it didn't really zip off the pitch, and Paulson was extremely untroubled by that. It just sat up for him. I know what to do with this. Ball 4.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, this is only the second over of pace we've seen from this edge, with just about none being done by the power. I wonder if that's because maybe they feel a little bit softer. Paulson looks like he has all the time in the world here. Experience, as we said, through the roof. Top pick in the draft.
Pretty much a measure in any sport you like to name. The player who has just that extra bit of time that everyone else doesn't have. They play the game almost like they're on fast forward and everyone else is just...
He's gone after that one. Great effort again. As we said, Atchad is in everything here. That's going to hold up just before the boundary. And they'll get 3.
And Atchad's foot slipped from under him as he released that ball, which was wide ended up more the middle of the pitch than either of the stumps, and he was a little bit dirty on himself for doing so, but given the effort he put in before that, I don't think he got a finger to it. I think the ball just fell inside the boundary.
But great effort there from Jake Atchad. We'll say it loud enough so hopefully he really sounds it's that boost of confidence as he runs past us as he moves around on the field at the end of that over.
Are you suggesting that commentators have egos and want to be part of the action then, Joe?
Mate, I'm just saying I want to be loved. Paulson looks quite good here early. He's willing to play his shots, which we didn't really see from the Rockets opening. As we say that, he's hit one very high. After coming around, falls for it, settles in. And unfortunately, he has put it down. So.
I think he did everything right, except Hatchett on that occasion made good ground to it. Maybe just couldn't quite steady himself at the point where the ball hit his hands, but he will be disappointed and did well to censor his frustration in front of the camera.
He's tried really hard, and unfortunately. Paulson's going to make it. He uses his feet, and if you couldn't see it on the camera, as that ball passes out of that bit, he punched the ground. So he knows that his left is swing down a little bit, especially when you drop someone like Steve Paulson.
He's not responsible for homing over pitching though. That was a half volley. Pure and simple, that was a half volley. And Paulson knows what to do with those.
Exactly that.
This one may go the journey as well. Just falling inside.
Good effort by the fielder, but
It was James Ward down there, I think. Either way, tried to flip it inside, and the boundary line, there's no fence here, just came a little bit too quickly for him.
Paulson looking very, very dangerous here all of a sudden. I say all of a sudden, he's looked dangerous since he walked down on the pitch, but
I think he started looking dangerous about 1998.
oh, it was 10 years old.
Knocked up his line as well, so not only was that 1.5 bowling, but he was also pretty much on leg stump. So Paulson is winning the battle of the line here. He's doing it through skill. He hasn't really
Definitely playing the ball's line. I don't know if you could do it, but as that ball went over there, that could stolen away by Jack Harvey. It is a very, very low power, but it was an over that could have been disastrous.
I think Paulson won the mental battle there. You're right, he had the luck, but then after that, he was able to put it out of his mind, whereas the bowlers for the Rockets weren't. It's none for 30 off 3. I think at the same stage, the Rockets were maybe 6 or 7. They got off to a very slow start. And it's 105 off 102 required, so they've almost got it back to a runner ball already. And we're only 3 overs down. Again, this is textbook how you play the first power play.
Paulson's come out absolutely seeing red. He's all aggression. Yeah. Gonna see Sam Neal. Quite quick there. It was a different sort of fast bowling that we've seen the rest of the day. We were tall, lanky fast bowlers. As Sam Neal walked back to his crease, he's similar height to the umpire.
Whippy is what we used to call those bowlers. Had a whippy action.
Well, he also has struggled with that. That is a cracking shot. Steve Paulson is feeling it right now. And that, unfortunately, has gone over Jake Captain's head, and that won't help him when it comes to getting that drop back.
Thankfully, he can't hear the commentary. I think Steve Paulson's starting to repay that investment of the $1 million, and we are talking figure. There'll be no actual $1 million changed hands, but at the BPL auction, which was a wonderful event, Paulson was the top prize. Starting to see why. 29 and 15.
Ooh. Misjudged that one slightly. I think he kept a lot lower than he was expecting. Maybe like worse. That was just sort of hovering around. Must have got some battle, mate.
Good change of angle there from Neil. Started the over around the wicket. I believe he went over for that delivery.
Well, it looks like he's coming over now. So the umpire's just, unless he's just signalling it to
the new batter.
To the new batsman.
I like a bowler who shows evidence of thinking.
That was quick. That was a very, very quick ball to Jake Cross, and I don't think he was expecting that sort of pace from Sam Neal there.
They haven't fired so far, but I do like that they've got different kinds of fast bowlers in this side. If you think of some of the great fast bowling quartets we've seen, pick any era you like, often they've had right armers, left armers, short bowlers, tall bowlers, asking different questions. Also on strike.
And they've nearly got it, finding the edge. Tell you what, you can't say anything negative about the running between the wickets of the Western Tower. They are very, very aggressive. That's a borderline single there. but just took off very, very quick from the non-striker there.
Had a good performance with the gloves too, Jake Cross. I was impressed. That catch he took down the leg side, very low to the ground. Had to come forward as well. Impressive work.
And this is almost a home game for the Western Power. Now, obviously, a lot of their players are not from Ipswich, but we are in Ipswich, and the Western Power, the Ipswich-based franchise. So
37 runs in the power play for the home side, as you say, Ipswich in the Western Corridor. And Paulson's doing several things here. He's knocking off the target rapidly. He's also taking any pressure that was on Jake Cross straight off him. And if Paulson were to get out soon, that's obviously not in the script for the Western Power, but if he were, then Jake Cross is there, having had time to play himself in under no pressure, and he can then accelerate to take the pressure off the next batsman.
very true. Now, I'm going to make another completely unsubstantiated claim. I was walking around in the warm-ups, and Dylan McLaughlin was hitting the ball very, very nicely in throwdown. So that means nothing, but I'm going to make the claim that it means everything.
Look, in the absence of an officially sanctioned BPL media guide, that's the kind of insights we get. Is Josh Connolly, experienced off spinner, come on from the northern end.
First over was scored from this northern end that we're going to see. It's got through the hands of the guy closely mid off there. It's near. Two more for Paulson. Got Ryan Walker fielding in front of us here. Great hit of her.
And I'm told, a big turner of the ball, a left-armed spinner, the rarest kind of bowler in cricket, and therefore my favourite.
You're a bit of a rare man yourself, then.
You've noticed.
Oh, that stayed very, very low off the wicket there. Paulson, he was expecting it to be low. It stayed quite low, but still went under the bat. There's a lot of yelling there, huh?
I think Cross is a bit upset with his blade there, so he's after another one.
That's hittable. Paulson does hit it very nicely. It's the fielder out there at a long line. So James Ward, you can't seem to get away from the ball. Very much in the game.
Yeah, that one got stuck in Connolly's hand, I think. He dragged it right down. And Paulson was under no pressure whatever.
Paulson might be kicking himself about that one. That was really a ball that you'd want to put away, especially batting as well as he is. He did middle it, just kept it very low on the ground.
There are several people outside the circle now with the spinner and none behind them. Oh! Jeez. And that was with his left hand. Just the way he threw it, I'm trying to identify the fielder, but I wouldn't mind betting that's a right-handed fielder who's just thrown left-handed. That's Marty Radshoulders out there.
It was. That was very, very close, and we've got a wonderful set of umpires here. He was not in a position to really make that call. He didn't move around like you would expect an umpire to do. So, I do think he made the right call. I think the batsman was very much safe, but if this was a BPL game or something, that definitely was going upstairs. And upstairs, I guess, is us, mate. So hold up a green light for us.
Except we can't get the stream working for us here with any reliability.
No, there could be no one hearing us right now.
They didn't get it, but with Paulson just taking the pace off the shot, gave himself a chance for two there. 5 overs gone, 44 runs. 90,
very
91 required in 90.
Very much the Rockets need a wicket, and look, we don't want to harp on about it because we've told him to get over it. But if you're Jacob Apter, you are in your own head very much right now. Bit of a drink for the batsman as we see some tape coming out for Jake Bress's bat.
Now this is what I like to see. I'm a bit sick of watching professionals on television where something very slight goes wrong with their bat, and so they get one of the 12 they brought with them and they see which one they like. No, do the running repairs, get a bit of gaffer out there.
I have inside knowledge on Steve Smith's bats, but the same guy that makes my bats makes his. Has no correlation to
You weren't claiming it, it's all fine.
I do. But he actually at any time has about 40 bats. Various stages of readiness.
There are children starving in this world.
I'm not one of them. I've got a lovely meal from the Tasty Greek here at the Mazda Brisbane Ferry. There are so many food options. It's ridiculous. So I feel like I should have 3 or 4 lunches, which wouldn't be uncommon. I got that jingling of keys. All our notes here are starting to blow away as that wind really is picking up now, as it comes almost straight at us across the down here. That's short. I say Crossy like my mates. Cross didn't quite get that.
Just did enough to clean it on, but that was all. And after it's been told to stay at deep long on.
Cross once again looks at his bat as soon as he finished the running there. I don't think he's very happy with his lay there. That's a little love on it.
Good sharp fielding from Reece McDonald.
Just a single there. It does bring Paulson on strike, which I think is what we all want to see. Because he is action galore.
Nearly had a 50 on this field with Nick McGill before. Paulson 38. I realise commentators' curses are a thing, but it's also my job to tell you the story.
Lovely shot.
You finish your Sublaki there. But no, very easily played to deep cover. Good arm from Ryan Walker.
I'm right there. Lovely shot.
Oh, you weren't wrong. We're just obeying what your mother would have told you, I'm guessing. I really need to stop talking about your parents. This is most untoward.
No, they're good people. Shout out Cam and him. Big hit there. Tell you what, Cross, you can't be upset about his bat there because he's kicked himself a goal.
The umpire gets the 2 flags out. Walker was in good position and fell short.
It did not.
No, it was 10 metres. So we're looking at a 75 metre hit.
That was fielded in the car park on 1 bounce.
A nice soft sound off the bat as well. Just timed it.
First boundary we've seen on this side of the ground. Oh, another quick single there. This is very, very good batting. We are watching a bit of a clinic being put on by the Power. How are you feeling about your tip for the Rockets here?
Well, I've made a donation to the betting agency essentially, but look, it is a long tournament and each team will play 6 times. There's one opposition team they won't play, and that's just unavoidable. But it's not been a good start for the Rockets. It's been an excellent start for the Power. The 50 partnership came up with that in 6. I realise those kind of stats aren't as important in T20, but I think batters, even in this game, still think in terms of partnerships. And Cross has played his role. Paulson's on 39, he's done the bulk of the scoring. But they've made some very good bowlers look ordinary as Josh Connolly continues from the top house in.
I'm very intrigued by this change of tactics. We saw it. Well played. We saw it work very well with the Power to run the spinner this set. And the Rockets, even though they obviously saw that because they were batting, have gone the other way and using their spinner from the clubhouse set. So, interesting technique. Hopefully it pays off for them. Nice sweep shot there, Cross. There is a man there, and that is the big fast bowler, Tony. He does well as a big man to get down and stop that.
It is interesting what you spoke about with the choice of ends for fast bowlers and spinners. The wind has changed significantly since the previous innings began. It is also possible that maybe the Rockets have just misread the conditions. But that is something I can relate to.
Paulson on strike. As you said, Paulson making it very, very easy out there. Other than that, he made one mistake and the Rockets didn't capitalise. Since then, he's looked very, very solid. As the wind picks up again.
I think because the wind's blowing this way, if you bowl the spinner from that end, the shot to cow corner is into the wind. I should say that's for the right hander for Paulson, playing right to his hands. Gives him with 2 points.
Paulson though seemed like he's just waiting for that slightly off pitch ball and then capitalising, and then happy that both of them seem very happy to take a single, and if that carries on, they'll cruise to an easy defeat. That's a beautiful shot by Dexter. Got a roll away for never any issues there. You can't get out if you hit that well along the ground the whole way.
And that 4 was set up by what's gone on before. First of all, the rotation of the strike meant that Connolly hasn't been able to settle into a line. And secondly, because they've been hitting so strongly in front of the wicket, it created space behind the wicket. And Cross, he knew where the gap was, he knew what ball he wanted, he got it.
And again, Honan is the only very, very difficult for a big man to get down to. Honan has had a little heart attack because bowler's gone to bowl. Honan was still outside the circle. So if he lets go of that ball and he's there, it's a no ball. So I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but big Lachlan Honan had to make a jump to make sure he's inside the and I also don't think the umpire, for some reason I was paying a lot of attention to him, but the umpire would have been actually doing it.
Music kicks in over on field 1. I'm not sure who the DJ is.
Reece McDonald though.
Did well with that. He is an all-rounder. But
He needs to take a wicket now. The Rockets need a wicket for that. Away from them.
much better for sunrise.
And there's that running thing we can
Good length from McDonald there. He's one of the first of the Rockets bowlers to get that back of the length. Well, he's done it for 2 balls so far, and that's worthy of praise.
That's 100% right. Yeah. Jake Cross though, starting to look very, very comfortable in his gap attack.
Is there nothing Gavin taking?
And I work in a radio station, we pretty much run the gap attack. Very, very slow.
I think we only gasped because we're on an angle and we didn't realise that it had got completely between the bowler and that off-field.
Yeah, so for us it did look very close to mark actually. Cross's defense is very, very solid. And defensive batting is not something we talk about a lot in cricket, but he's definitely very solid behind the ball. Both these guys looking ridiculously comfortable right now.
And it's often said the best T20 batters are the ones that have the good technique.
And just to prove us right, he does it again.
But they've got 4 runs up this over. McDonald's producing the best bowling we've seen so far in this innings. And they get crossing balls and so we don't need to lose that.
But thanks to the Ipswich and West Moreton Cricket Association,
I definitely recommend the BPL app available. Places where you get your apps. And you won't miss a second of this tournament. That would be better for Collins. When he stuck his hands and tried to bounce, he felt well. But then he had it like one of the
and I think Cross knows that Paulson's playing finally very well. So happy to take the single, give Paulson the strike, and let's see what happens here. We saw Paulson really go after this guy earlier. It's a lovely sweet shot. Probably not going to go. Well done, Jack.
He's fielded well in the last few overs, and initially I didn't think it had enough on it. I think had it been allowed to run, it would have just gone over the boundary. Perfect for lawn bowls.
There you go. 2 runs. Full and disastrous for
Caught it long on. Paulson knew what he wanted to do with that delivery, but went about 5 metres too low, I would venture a guess, at a comfortable catch taken, I think, by Walker in the outfield. I'll check that for you in a moment.
I think it's James Ward, actually.
You are correct.
It's a great innings, though, by Steve Paulson. Really put his team in a chance to win this. And we're going to see Harry Wood, the captain of the Cow, walking out. I haven't seen his jersey number, but that hair is unmistakable.
He's number 4. And at a right-hander, so 2 right-handers at the crease now. But Paulson, 45 off 29. He'll be disappointed not to get to 50, but you can't say that he hasn't done his job. He's done exactly what he was up to do. And his return to the marquee for the Western Power is warmly appreciated by his teammates.
And just, he should have been out on about 20. Unfortunately. So the Rockets will be happy we've got that wicket, but they will know they let him score an extra 20-odd runs. So
there's an opportunity for momentum here, though, for the Rockets. I mean, you always say in the field, if you take a wicket after a long time, you always say 1 brings 2.
1 brings 2 here, boys.
In exactly that voice. We can get that as a ringtone for that's Joel Ball saying 1 brings 2 is part of a collection of on-field songs.
Party at the stumps, boys, and we're invited.
Again, when you go by the Brisbane Premier League, Joel Ball. But there is an opportunity here for the Rockets to bowl themselves back into the match with a new batter, but they've got to seize the play.
They do. Oh! Harry Wood has just sort of whomped his foot and prodded at that ball. And it's, I'd say, millimetres away from taking the outside edge. They got a bit more comfortably rocked onto the back foot.
Connolly continuing around with the kind of cramp into space. Just to translate from before, carpe diem is of course an old Latin phrase meaning the carpet's dead.
live band to kick off. In a very Caribbean style, my friend. Joel Gardner will be joining us anyway.
Well, except it's the wrong part of the Caribbean, because that's Cuban music, whereas
Yes.
they're not really part of the Anglosphere part of the Caribbean, which is where the cricket's played.
That's true. So swap Joel Gardner for a cigar salesman and maybe some suspicious white crowding. Chris McDonald to continue here for the end of the red. Haywood on strike. Another wicket this over would really turn the game on its head. I couldn't leave you with it. So, as we often see when a bit of a slowdown in the scoring rate, but that is obviously to be expected with a batsman. Absolutely missed it.
Wouldn't mind betting that's a little bit of a turn off the wicket, but of course it's the kind of turn that only the fielder in the line of the ball can see. Your teammates can't see it and say that's a fine.
So Jack Hargreaves has been feeling very well, slight number there. Maybe he was thinking about the Sandy Beach salsa our ways for another over.
You could say he's having a good time.
And that's all we'll hear from Daniel for the rest of this tournament. Unfortunately, single there to the power captain.
I've been impressed with McDonald's control of the game.
Definitely to get it over. That's a good ball. That's done well to be able to play that away with the ball. Good leg. Very different from what we had when the Rockets were batting. So we comes from
Well, Harry Wood, the captain, before he's batting at the moment, he was pleased to win the toss and bowl. And at the time I thought, okay, well maybe he just knows his turn early. But he also, as a slogan player, this is that ground. I wonder if he knew that the conditions for bowling, when it's nice and settled early, that'll suit us. And then, yeah, we'll let the Rockets struggle a little bit with their bowling. So if that's the case, I realise that winning the toss itself is a matter of luck and routine, of knowing what to do with it. But he doesn't know it.
we do have a check ball.
17
is Conor McInerney. So he is bowling and speaking. So a bit of a Mark Waugh fan. So. Oh! And what a way to start.
McInerney has bowled a bit for South Australia. Normally it was just a keep it tight partnership breaking. Darren Lehman type on the same stadium. Who knows how to bowl surprising jars? There's a single down to long off. so I think it was a reflex action there at the end.
The bowler didn't have any never a good sign. Let's cut that away.
I think Captain might do a better job than me.
2 runs back.
Oh, Colin McInerney's run-up makes Shane Warne look like he's sprinting. Really phenomenal. Good length. Pulled it back slightly. Would realise he hadn't read it early enough. And he can do this again. Lovely cut shot from Wood. Just get back to the point after the field again.
That's
the other thing about having a spin bowler with an economical run-up is that if you get a few dot balls in a row, suddenly for the batting side, an over's gone. They're like, whoa, what happened there? You know, we didn't advance the run rate. They were able to get 7 off the end.
It's like Ryan Walker coming onto the bowl here from the Amberley Airfield end.
I've been looking forward to this. I realise it's a T20 game, so he won't have the opportunity to show all of the tricks, but a 19-year-old leg spinner plays for, I'm going to say, Toowoomba. But left-arm wrist spinners are the salt of cricket. No,
Toowoomba will be Queensland currently. One more behaviour.
that brings it back to 50 runs required, 52 balls to do it.
Barring this is going to be quite easy. Jake Coffins, so just that'll get it up there. It's like it might be watch that
conclusion of this game, do stay with us, because the Western Power will looking to go back to back if they take home the Morton Magic, who began with a loss earlier today.
It was on this field too, so they should be comfortable with how this pitch is playing. It won't take too much.
Walker's taken the pace right on to make the batsmen generate their own pace, which increases the risk. They've managed it so far in power battles. We've got through Walker's first over unseen. So cross on 37. Really, 37 off 30 in the context of the match is positively wrong. Should I say powering along?
Hey!
I'm just going to call at this point.
Obviously, probably the biggest selling point of the innings is he's got cap. So now's his chance. He's got the ball, he's a left armer. chance to turn the tide for his team.
Made first grade last year with Redlands. He's in that point at the moment where he's too good for the lower grade. He's quite good for the first grade.
A really, really nice shot there.
Proper cut shot, rolled the wrists, made sure that the catch was taken right out of the equation. If you direct it as well, this outfield looks rather good.
As does Harry Wood as he's settled into him. Well, as I say that, that's gone straight through him outside the off stump.
That is quicker. And water is wet. And Uptech found his range there. It was a good length. Zipped through a bit quicker. Wood thought he was going to get the same thing. Certainly did not.
But I guess it's making their way around the wood. A little bit less.
We will try to get some players into the commentary booth from time to time over the course of the Brisbane Premier League. And you can get to know some of the stars of this tournament. Rapted's starting to get on top of Wood, conceded the boundary early, and it said, right, no more mucking around.
Wood has gone after that one. It's very, very safe because it's over the boundary, but there's also no fielder there. Tell you what, it is not a great start to the tournament for Jacob Abdel. Hopefully he can keep his head up and bounce back, but not the game he would have wanted to have to start his tournament.
I think he made the classic mistake there of thinking, okay, I've gone back over length a few times there, I'll pitch one up and see what happens. Well, you saw what happened now, so just go back to back over length, Jacob.
The guest on front of the line is a little bit unsure about jumping on the mark. That's the end of the over. Obviously not the over Jacob Abdel would have wanted to have. Harry Wood took a little bit of a liking to Jacob Abdel.
So he's now up to a run a ball. The 100 is up for the Western Power, and they now need 34 of 42. And from the Rockets' point of view, taking only the one wicket won't exactly fill them with confidence either.
I reckon it's time to bring big Lachlan Honan back on, I reckon. Get the big fella back in. He looks good, he looks ready. What do you reckon, Lachlan?
Yeah, hopefully no drop catches.
Bit of a comment on what we've been hanging on to. It seems like Lachlan's also hanging on to that drop catch.
As Brennan quite rightly moves Honan away from the commentary area. Sorry,
but one thing about fast bowlers is they will not forget a drop catch.
Memories like elephants. I know Glenn McGrath had that party trick of remembering each test wicket he took, so you could say to him, 422, and he'd tell you who the batsman was, which ground.
Tell you what, I've picked it. Lachlan Honan's coming on to bowl.
You were trying to get into the mind of Harry Wood before. I think you've managed to get into Lee Drennan's mind much more easily. Maybe the security setting is a little bit lax on the Drennan Wi-Fi system.
I will say I have captained over 300 T20 games in my life, so maybe I might have some insights, but I will also say that all of these players are significant. I may have tried to pay some of the players that if they get on commentary, I say nice things about me, and they haven't. Start from Honan.
Over pitch, but had protection in place. Joel's being modest. He did play second grade for a fair while. He was a high quality cricketer. I probably shouldn't have said was there. But,
No, you're right.
Whereas as a cricketer, I In my first game of grade cricket, I had James Hopes and Aaron Nye dropped in my first 2 overs, and that was as good as it got.
Haywood on strike. Good paid ball. And really well played by Harry Wood as well. He's not just dug that out, he's dug that out to halfway to the boundary out here in Bidon.
I'm guessing Wood has a good backswing. I haven't been paying attention to it, but he came down with a defensive shot that hit force and got the reward.
Well, he's a big man, he's quite broad shouldered. Ross has come down the pitch there, so it might be safe to say that they are feeling very comfortable with the physicality. Ominous signs, not just for this game, but potentially for the whole game.
You know, some people might say the Western Power are a tip for the whole tournament.
You wouldn't, you said the Rockets. I haven't given my tip yet. I was hoping that that's going to be 4 more.
Well played. Just beat the fielder and beat me wicket. And I don't know if you were a fast bowler, Joel, but you've got a memory like one.
Well, I was hoping that. I was trying to convince a player to come around, and he made most of his way, but then sent me a message saying he doesn't want to do any commentary now that he's got halfway, and I was trying to trick him into doing it anyway.
Disappointment.
I won't name him, just in case he does make his way over, but he did get most of the way here and then got stopped by some of the boys in the Western Power for a chat, which is great to see the teams mingling. Obviously a lot of them know each other from playing great cricket. A lot of them would play together as well. This is an amalgamation of all the clubs across the Brisbane Premier Cricket competition. Good fielding. Reece McDonald's had a very nice game.
Been impressive. He's a good get. 37 years old. And showing all of his experience, showing fitness, showing skills. Kudos to the recruitment officer for the Southern Rockets. They've been able to get a good one from outside of the Southeast Queensland area, look a bit beyond and come up with the goods.
As we say that, he's going to come on and bowl. So he's definitely one of the top 2 picks of the batting for them. I think he really, after Raj showed, was probably my tip as far as the way he came out and batted, and then McDonald was able to compound on that, along with McGill, who played that sort of rock roll, whether he meant to.
It's all a bit cruisy now for the Western Power.
Never good to see the Rockets needed this.
Not a lot of sideways movement despite the wind here. It's not really the kind of day where you can pitch it up and hope for an outside edge.
He's only pitched again, and this time he will pay to it. So it's got to be 50 there for that cross. It's a very, very good inning. Pretend I'm not. Come here.
Recruitment goes on as Jake Cross celebrates his 50.
I'll promise to lie and be nice. I'll be nice. Don't make me call Carly. Get over here.
The charm of Joel Hall being seen in stunning action here.
So I'm trying to convince Northern King, Scott Palombo.
I was about to say, name and shame, yes.
Scott Palombo, so he is the opening bat for the Gold Coast Dolphins first grade side. And his girlfriend was Harry Bush, or the other might know her as an absolute gun in the women's women's cricket ranks.
I was at the Catherine Raymond Shield final back in April where Sunshine Coast got up and followed an excellent Gold Coast's Cooper.
Oh, and that is Harry Wood's stumps. So we said Reese McDonald's been the pick here for the Rockets, and that remains as he removes the power captain. Now, it may be too little too late, but it's definitely a wicket they need.
And again, encouragement going into the rest of the day. But McDonald again pulled his length back. He did open pitch early in the over. That one, he hit the handkerchief length. Back, forward, Wood's footwork, well, he pretty much popped onto the front foot there, then tried to direct it somewhere else, and none of it really worked. But Wood was able to keep the momentum going with Paulson and built. Cross, as we suggested earlier, was able to move into that striking role, and good team batting from the Western Power throughout the innings. And
now Cross is going to be joined by Brindle Llewellyn. Obviously, Brindle Llewellyn bowled very, very nicely in the first innings there. He's a big reason why they were able to restrict the power. And no, he didn't restrict the power, it plays good. But he did restrict the Rockets.
We're still getting to learn. It's actually quite exciting to be learning about these new, not really franchises, but these new teams in the competition, seeing what they represent, seeing what style they find. They probably don't even know what style they have yet because the combinations are so new.
It's also interesting to think that they've had an extra 3 weeks to prepare. Because obviously the tournament delayed slightly due to COVID restrictions, so a little bit of extra training potentially went on. Also changed up. Oh, that's a good ball. They changed up a lot of the lineups as players became unavailable. So we actually ended up a week, 2 weeks ago having a supplementary draft for a few teams had to change their lineups a little bit.
Which worked well in the case of, I understand, Gold Coast captain Harry Burton has now been able to come into the tournament. Yes, we lost people like Glenn Battachotto and Chris Seberg, who's going to come back over from Perth where he's been playing. So, but I don't think we've lost anything in the quality of the tournament with some of the people who perhaps thought they would be unavailable suddenly realising, oh, hang on, there's a chance for me here.
So I'm going to name drop a little bit.
Please do.
Happen to be quite good friends with ex-England ODI captain Adam Collier.
I'll just pick up that name for you. Here it is. Keep going.
Lachlan and I asked him once who is one of the players that people should be looking at that's not playing on the big stage. He straight away, without question, said without any doubt, there was no hesitation that he said together. Holyoake Brennan, who doesn't know, works as the batting coach for Queensland cricket. So knows a thing or two about swinging of the willow. So boxing coach, and makes his boxing good. Rare feat out of Holyoake. He very professional in both cricket, boxing, and MMA fighting. So, well, that wasn't on your stat sheet.
No, I didn't realise he was back in Australia because he had an amazing career in Surrey as well.
He was on the Gold Coast. And then my Glenn Bancello story.
Yes. I'm just getting you back after calling Hugo Burden Harry. I apologise to Mr. Burden, but we won all now. Keep going.
I came up against him in a last minute stands game, and he was overconfident that day. And he was bowling for me and bounced me a little bit. I didn't play it well. And that's in the air. All of that's in the air, nothing to do with my skill. He followed me down after the bouncer, and I may have said something like, "Oh, you better wear a helmet if you're batting." And he went, "Do you know who I am?" I was aware who he was. I was just trying to.
Oh, you silly boy!
I was trying to be confident. I think my first service was went to bed. Not well for me, obviously.
Joel, you work in the media, and what you came away with there was a story, and that is far more valuable.
I've got some great stories here. Not be told. Come on, Scotty!
hard, Stott, and you've got something that certainly I lack, and possibly Joel as well, and that is credibility when it comes to playing cricket.
He is a talented young cricketer, Scott Palumbo. Horrible moustache, but a very talented young cricketer. He's that's a shot in the air. Very, very well taken out by James Ward. Scott Palumbo, his great career has really come leaps and bounds in the last 2 seasons. Joining us, you're going to make Scott. So Scott is a very humble young man. So welcome to commentary here from the Northern Kings. Scott Palumbo, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Joel?
Good, mate. Now you guys had a nice win to start your tournament off.
Yeah, nice win early result, 7-3.
Yeah, and cold too. Very cold this morning compared to right now we're baking in the Ipswich sun, but it was about 10 degrees when we got to Ipswich.
Yeah, fingers were about to snap off. We whipped out the fresh balls as well this morning, which was nice.
And a decent start to your tournament, 30 odd?
Yeah, high 30s I think. I was playing it.
I think it was about 34, but
Yeah, high 30s.
yeah, no, got run out unfortunately,
Not quick enough.
which is rare because you're like full disclosure to anyone listening is I dislike saying anything nice about Scott, but you are very quick along the ground, so your strong points in the game. So we just trying to bite off more than you could.
Yeah, I think I was. There was a good bit of fielding though. There was one stump to aim at and did it, so good on him.
How is it to get to come into bat? You batted 3 and came in. Obviously, one of your openers not the performance who does really get off as well as he would have liked. But Josh Brown was hitting him very, very clean.
Yeah, he had good bat speed out there. You could hear it when he was missing the ball as well as hitting it. So it was quite nice.
Some Josh Brown thing is he actually makes his own bats with the cricket. So anyone that is after a bat and wants one, Josh Brown. Or King Sport.
Yeah, King Sport is the new go-to.
King Sport athlete, so mate, have you got the chance to look at some of the other teams going on? Or, you guys have a break now, you're going to play later today, I believe.
Yeah, we're on soon actually. So I've been bouncing around from game to game actually. I've been indirected. Just watching Wave Riders and Nick Hill. Don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was whacking them over there. He took 20 off and over. Jared, that's it. Yeah, he's whacking them.
We're watching the Power sort of cruise to a victory here over the Southern Rockets. Very, very exciting bowling attack for Western Power.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to see them.
So they've got Nutter, White, Purcell, they're very strong and they bowled a lot of spinners as well. But their big man, the $1 million man himself, Mr. Paulson, has batted quite well at the top of their order for it. You guys have a near $1 million man in Jeff Brown. Do you think that puts extra pressure as a player?
You have to ask Josh that.
How much did you go for? 300k?
500.
Oh, casually.
At the end of the night. But I don't know. Paulson's just like John Bradman of great cricket. So
he doesn't age.
No, he doesn't. Gets better with age.
Now I notice you're not bowling much.
No, not at all.
But you are a nice sweep shot played there by Rin Llewellyn. You can bowl. You can do a bit of everything. Talented man.
I try to, but my bowling does get hit for a few runs every now and again when I do get the chance.
And I did see you take a nice sort of comfortable catch in your game as well. I would say you pride yourself in the field.
Yeah, I think that's my strong point, is my fielding abilities.
Would you say you're Jonty Rhodes-esque?
Maybe not that standard, but we'll go close. Maybe Roy.
You're gonna, if we do have any streakers, you're gonna drop the shoulder?
I think I would get run over by the street back, unfortunately.
Josh Donnelly finishing the over here, as it does look like the Power cruise to a victory in their first game. I saw you over there talking with some of the boys in the Power Power Sheds, you've got some mates over there, mate, or are they just big Scott Palumbo fans?
No one's a Scott Palumbo fan around here, but maybe you, Joel.
Don't know where you heard that.
No, I was talking to Johnny and Bill, so good bloke.
Is there, so obviously you mentioned the waiver, but just on what you've seen as far as the players you know of that are in this competition, I know there's a lot of players that you actually play with, like Hugo Burton, who you've picked up in the supplementary draft. Yeah. Is there any teams that you're excited to play against?
Yes. The Dingoes are looking like a quality team, so it'd be good to play against quality, and the Marlins obviously. They're very well posted everywhere on social media at the moment. So yeah, it'd be good to play against those two. It'd be good to play against everyone, really. But yeah, they're the two standouts for me.
But obviously Northern Kings still in the corner.
Oh, it's looking good so far.
No, 1 from 1.
1 from 1, 100%. Maybe 2 from 2.
And a lot of big names involved in the Northern Kings. Obviously Ian Healy heavily involved. Chris Lynn is an owner. Does that make you feel like special?
Yeah, kind of, I guess. It's good having Ian down here watching. Really nice. Hopefully living on the stream later. That'd be nice.
And also you're obviously a Gold Coast boy, so was it almost a shock that we picked by a club that is essentially the other end of the competition?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect going into the draft. Did you expect me to go? I didn't. After your kind words.
Oh, and there's a catch there. It's a big wicket. And full credit to Jacob Abdett. As we said, he did drop Steve Pawson early on. So he's recovered now and he's catching really well. Mate, you probably have to go warm up for a game.
I'll probably do it. I'm looking over there. I'm not moving. So maybe they're on the field.
There's some movement from some people in tutus over by the 4X bar today. So.
I had the Mexicans coming around. Did you hear them?
That's villa. There's a lot of things going on here at the massive Brisbane Premier League, but the main thing that's going on is the cricket. And thank you so much for joining us from the Northern Kings. Scott Palumbo, good luck in your next game, mate. I wish I could watch it, but I'll be here. But good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Now, if I go, yeah, I'm going to go. Amazing. So Dan's nipped off to the 4X bar, I believe. Big thanks to Scott Palumbo for joining us here on the stream. He is a very talented young cricketer. Highlight of his career, 13th man for Australia in the game. For anyone that watched and might have missed it, he struggled to put on his vest. So if anyone doesn't know, it's got 13th man to wear a vest over the Shetty Academy, another active player, and Scott really struggled to get it over his head, and a lot of his friends happily shared that across social media. So as looks like I'll be running us through to the end here. Reece McDonald, as we've said, probably the most involved players for the Southern Rockets here today. We can get some wickets, kind of wrap this up. Harry Austin, oh, that is a big swing, and that's going to be 4 quite easy runs for the power. Brindlewell still I was distracted by the beauty of Scott Palumbo's mustache when I saw the Brindlewell got out. So Jake Frost. Brindlewell has hit that very hard, overpitched obviously. We won't be happy with the results. But Brindlewell makes it back. I reckon Brindlewell was out there if it was a direct hit. But unfortunately for the Rockets one, they just missed what would have been a tight chance. Remember after this game, as we said, bit of confusion. Here is whether the game's there's questions being asked as whether the game's over, and it is over. So that is the end of the game here. a big win. A big win for the Power. They will regroup, and as we said, they're actually going to take on Bayside Marlin right after this game. So definitely not a lot of turnaround time. And there's questions where about that. Some things do like the rest in between games. A lot of teams really enjoy just getting back into the game. So to wrap this up, the Western Power 6-wicket win over the Southern Rockets. For the Power, Cross 54 on 41, Pawson 45 on 29, Wood with 20 on 22, Llewellyn finished 15 on 13. Obviously the Duck there from the block was on the 4 by up their bowlers who were respectful on both. And then just one run to the score for Harry Austin. And with the ball, McDonald obviously the pick of the bowls there. 4 overs to 21. Kennedy 4 overs 127. Honan level with Jose 4 overs 1 for 35. Obviously that drop cat coming off his bowling. Ward 1 over for 10. Leo 2 for 19. McInerney only bowled 1 over, only went for 5 runs. So do something to look forward in the future games here. But that's all she wrote for Game 2. We'll be back very shortly with Game 3. Stay tuned. If you're a Power fan, you've got another game coming up right after